Hello, welcome back. I hope you had a nice couple of hours off. Put your feet up, have a cup of tea, have a slice of cake, which is exactly what we did here. A little bit of a break before the last show of the evening. So we've got Creative Cravings coming to you. I'm Becky. If you've never seen me before, I'm often on the other side of the studio behind a sewing machine, so I do the softer side of life. But I'm over here at the moment, which is really quite exciting. And I do love to be on this side of the studio as well. I'm not on my own. I do have Debbie here, the lady with the best laugh in the world, I have to say. We have giggled so much, haven't we?
Yes,
we giggled a lot last night when we were watching Love Island, but we giggled a huge amount this morning before even the show started. So it's great to have you, great to be working with you, because I don't often get the chance to work with you,
No, we don't. And actually, we've had a night and a day of it, which has been amazing. So, and actually, it's just nice to shake it up a little bit, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've got the Interchangeable scene dies today, which I really, really love. I remember having a look at them before. I think there was a show a little while ago and they're having them. And I think for me, I think they are really, really clever pieces of kit to be able to make these sort of really in-depth, prettily designed cards. They are something else, really, aren't they?
They really are. You know what? There's something for everybody here because there are so many different dyes in them. They're all interchangeable and they just make the most amazing designs. So first of all, before we do anything, I really wanted to show you some of the samples. And this really goes to show the versatility of these dyes. So this is quite a nice card, creating that aperture through the middle there of the card, creating that step on the front. But then this card, totally different, but using exactly the same dyes.
Oh,
now
clever.
You wouldn't think so, would you? And I love to show a comparison like this. So you can see the fence dye along the front here is the same fence dye used here. You can use it plainly in just one card or you can colour it. Same as the house there. The cottage looks so different, done in a different way. So beautiful. There are different styles of cards that you can do, and because they're layerable and they're interchangeable, you can create those sort of different backgrounds, foregrounds, faux backgrounds, which are amazing. I absolutely love this one. Being able to put them on different steps, creating quite a masterpiece really, but if you want to make it into something even more special, having a book like this, well, it's not a book, it's a fake book. It's just layers of cardstock put on there and then those different layers going down. I mean, the intricacy in these dies are absolutely off the charts. They are amazing. If you want to do something quite plainly with them, you can. If you want to put them into just an aperture card, you can. And that's what we love about these dies, that you can be the creative person to make them into whatever you want. They are amazing. Absolutely.
And they're going to work quite well with the shadow boxes. You could do some of these in a shadow box as well, couldn't you? So they really are going to work beautifully together. So have a look at the different dies that you can get. This one, I have to say, this is just so lovely. This one with you've got the toastals. So this is the Fairy Glade, and it really does. It shouts Enid Blyton fairy stories to me, with all of those little sort of houses, all the fairy folk. You've got all those little toastals, but obviously you can use all of these different aspects, these different parts of the dice for different sorts of things. So don't think of them as just being sort of a one type of card that you can make. You could use this for all sorts of different things. I mean, using this one over here, you could use those perhaps with some of those rotating stamps that we had. You could sort of have those rotating stamps with their different colours and then put that over the top to get that sort of 3 dimensions. So that is a Fairy Glade. The next one is your why can I not get that working? That's your Country Cottage. So that's the one you saw in those first little samples that Debbie had. So really, really pretty, great for new homes, people retiring. I mean, who doesn't love a little cottage like that? But of course, you can use all those different parts of those dies for different types of things. So you could not have to use all of those different aspects all together. The next one is this one, which I can't move. This one is the African Savannah. Now this one, even just in the black, move it around the right way, just having that sort of black cutout. I mean, if you put some of those, you sort of put some watercolour type card around the back with sort of a sunset, all those different sort of hues on there. In fact, we've got a paper pad, I'll show you in a little bit, with almost watercolour backgrounds. You could make a card very, very quickly just using the black colours in there without colouring those over. So the next one here, this is a Tropical Paradise one with all those beautiful leaves and parrots. So again, or you could use these these for different sort of aspects. You could just use the plain dies down the side, these ones over here, for embellishing your cards. Then you've got wonderful Wonderland here. So you've got this beautiful one. This is going to be great for Christmas or sort of winter time in sort of whites and silvers. And then finally, you've got your Fairy Tale Forest. Again, very much a beautiful kind of Beauty and the Beast, Prince Charming kind of thing. Great for a card for a wedding, perhaps. So these are on a special price of £75.99. or $87.96, that's your platinum price. And you're getting a lot in here. It's 59 different dies. So you're going to be able to use these for all sorts of different things. Don't just think of them just for cards, putting them on boxes, or you can do them as a multi-buy. You can buy 2 for £35 or $38. So definitely worth having. I think this one and that fairy one at the very beginning are absolutely beautiful. But you've got a couple of demos for us, haven't you, using these?
Yeah, absolutely. So throughout the next couple of hours, the first one I want to use is the Tropical Paradise. I think this is a lovely one. It's a really happy, beautiful die set, and you can see straight away how many dies you are getting in here. So like Becky just showed you, so if I take off these here, I'm taking off the ones that are on the back because they are on both sides of your sheet here, so plenty you're getting. And they go together, so you don't have to have them all, and you can mix and match if you want to. So I love that fact that you can just use any ones, and then you've got all these individual elements as well. So the leaves and the vines, and you've got the I wanted to say stalk then, but it's not, it's a flamingo. A flamingo. A flamengo.
It's like a Spanish dancing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, a bit of dance in there.
And do you know why they're pink, flamingos?
Do I know why they're pink? I do know that actually. Yes, it's because they eat the shrimp. Yeah. The shrimp eat the algae, and that's what makes the shrimp pink.
I wondered if you gave flamingos a food that was blue, would they end up being like a blue kind of colour?
It's strange, isn't it? Yeah, because I've not known any other animal that would eat something of a colour that would turn that colour. So yeah, and maybe we just don't eat enough shrimp.
Well, if you eat too many carrots, aren't you supposed to go slightly sort of jaundicey colour?
Is that true?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure I've watched one of those programmes where somebody all they ate was carrots, and they were sort of slightly orange. Oh. And I don't think it came out of a bottle kind of thing. It wasn't like they was full of self-tan. It was, you know, too many carrots.
It would make sense, but you've got to eat a lot, I would have thought.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get on with our cards. So I've got 2 pieces here, and in fact 3 pieces, because I want to do this sort of diorama card. The first piece, this is going to be the front of our card, and then I've got another identical piece that goes underneath, but I want to create that sort of tunnel vision going through. So the first thing I want to use is my leaf one. So let's bring this one in, and we're going to place these on the side here. So pop in, oh, that's flicked away. I must remember where that is. So we're going to pop these together. I'm going to bring in my low-tack tape, so make sure you tape them together so they don't overlay. But what you will find is they will go together perfectly on each side. So just fill that with your fingers, and on the bottom there, you might have a slight little piece that will come away, which you might need to snip, but that's quite a nice little fit there. I'm not going to be too fussy because I do have one that's already cut out. It's because I'm trying not to put my big head over the camera, so I can't really see exactly what I'm doing, but there we go, I think we've got that down. And then this one we want to pop onto, I think they're pretty much the same size, one slightly smaller, which is this one, and we're going to pop that into place on here. And do exactly the same thing. Use your low-tack tape just to take that down. So right into that centre. They don't have to be absolutely perfect, but if you want that perfect framing, obviously just give that a measure around the sides. And then
it's quite nice for having 2 sides, so you don't have to use both sides.
You don't have to use both sides, which I love.
And I like that sort of diversity.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And then we've got our other pieces here, which I just want to cut a few out. So I haven't allowed myself some card for that. So let me just grab a little bit of card.
So lots of people messaging in to say hello. Beth says hello, happy Wednesday from a very grey upstate New York. Kimberly, good afternoon. Suzette, hello everybody. Sarah, Linda, Mary Pat. Alistair Vile says, Blue Flamingo sounds like a club I used to know. It does sound very much like a club.
Who said that?
Alistair.
Oh, that's my partner, isn't
it? Is it? And how many shrimps has Debbie eaten? This is what we need to know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Not many. I don't like fish.
Do you not at all?
No.
Elaine says, I worked with someone who ate so many carrots her nails and the skin did have an orange tint.
Wow.
Fred, beta-carotene foods make some skins turn orange. And Laura says the condition is known as carotenema. No, not enema, carotenema.
Carotenema, so it is a thing.
It is an actual thing.
Oh. Well, I'll never turn orange because I don't actually like carrots.
Do you not?
No.
I mean, I think as a healthy way of getting a bit of colour on your skin if you're a bit pale, I mean, I don't know whether you want a sort of a brown tinge rather than actually being orange, but I have seen some people on TV who are quite orange. So maybe that's what they've been doing. Yeah, those people on Love Island, they're not actually lying in the sun, they're just eating a lot of carrots. That's possibly what's going on.
My tan is natural though, which makes a change. Normally I do have a bit of a fake tan sometimes, but yeah, this is a natural tan. Actually, I was quite lucky because we obviously went abroad and I got quite a nice colour, and then come back, and then only a couple of weeks later went to Cornwall and we had lovely weather down there as well. So I've been very lucky.
You're very lucky.
And to anybody because I did have lots of messages from people telling me to be safe in the sun, and they hope I was using a good factor. So I was using a factor 30 the whole time we were in Cape
That just
Verde.
goes to show, doesn't it? I mean,
people
I think
they can't tan if they don't use it, and actually that's not the case at all.
No, really important.
Yeah, I couldn't bear to be burnt.
I remember my sister used to use baby oil. And then back in the 80s, and she used to have one of those big foil cones, you know, a bit like the cone of shame you put on a dog when they've had an operation. It was that kind of thing, but it was foil, and she just used to lie in the sun, you know, just cooking really, basically.
Did she tan well though? See, that's okay if you tan well. See, I don't. I would just burn.
Yeah, I think most people would burn, but you know, back in the 80s. We didn't really know too much about
that's so true.
How, you know, safe tanning, did we?
No, not at all. Look at that. I mean, how beautiful. Yeah. That's stunning, isn't it? That we can cut that straight into the front of our design.
Really lovely.
And then we've got our other one here, so let's take that one away. And that gives us our next one. So these are all interchangeable. You can use them across the board with the other designs as well. So let me just take that away. And that's one that. And even having that one, just as your sort of palm tree, these would be great for scrapbooking, to put your photos behind as like frames as well.
Yep.
Really cool designs. And there's something very cheerful about palm trees and sort of summer leaves and
well, it makes us feel like, you know, holidays are coming. We all live for our holidays, don't we? Unless you're lucky enough to live in a place where you see palm trees every day. You know, and I'm sure some of our viewers are just looking out the window saying, yeah, I see the palm trees. Nothing exciting here, but no, for us, you know, there's not much to look out of where we are at the moment, just cars, really.
That's it, yes. Right, what I am now going to do though, Becky, is I'm going to turn these over because I really want to emboss them. There's a great deal of detail in these which looks stunning, so please take the time to just put your rubber embossing mat over the top. So you've got your cutting plate, your dies with the paper facing upwards, your rubber shim, then your plastic shim, take out your magnetic and then your top plate and just send them through, and I'll show you when they come out, because especially the parrot has really beautiful designs on it, and also when you're using alcohol markers it's really easy to follow the lines when you've got it embossed. You haven't got to guess, there's no guesswork in there. So if I take this one out, you'll see exactly what I mean. And also these do act as you could ink through those as well. So I am going to colour in, but let me just show you what I mean. Let's have a nice bright red beak there. We put some green on his wings. And then we'll just do a yellow on his tails. I'm going to colour it, but I just want you to see that these are actual stencil dies as well. So when you pop that out, if you don't want to colour it in, you've got that beautiful bird, which is amazing. And then we've got our leaves, and again, you just get that really nice embossed detail all around the edges, and it gives them sort of a 3D-ness about them. So really beautiful design. So take that little bit of time just to do that. And with the leaves, this one actually gives you the lines through it. So by embossing it, you actually get the lines of the leaves. So lovely dies that come with it. I mean, that's a lot of dies in one pack. And we still didn't use all of them. Like you've still got your flamingo, you've got the cloud die, which is brilliant because it doesn't have a cutting edge at the side. So if you want to do different clouds at different levels, you can do that across the background, which is really clever. Right, so we've got all our die cut detail. Let me put my plates to one side. And then we can get on with constructing our card. Right, I think we've got these on the show because I remember Becky showing them earlier. So I thought they'd be really nice to use. So I'm bringing in my pigment ink pads. These are amazing for blending. So what I am going to do is first of all just create a blank piece as a background. So I got inspired because of sort of the parrot, and it felt all very tropical with the leaves. So I'm going to start off with the yellow, just going to bring in one of my ink daubers, and we're going to place that onto
that really is very bright, isn't it?
Really bright. It's absolutely stunning. So we're going to do that, and then I'm not going to take that too far up because, well, in fact, I will a little bit because I'm not going to bring in a third colour. I'm just going to use two colours. These colours will mix beautifully together. So I'm going to bring in our Chinese red, and then when we blend that into our yellow, so I'm going to pop that across, then bring back in our yellow to just blend that in. So you get that sort of ombre effect then coming on there, which is so stunning. Really nice way just to blend those two colours together, and then we can put the red. I mean, look how vibrant that red is. It's absolutely stunning.
It really does, scream holidays on a tropical island, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Right, so we've got our two colours there. Then what I want to do is we'll pop that to the side, let that dry. I'm just going to bring in just a wipe to wipe the red away, because then we're going to bring in some greens. So it's really good fun to add all this colour to our framing. So first of all, I've got our spring meadow, really lovely sort of light green, and I just want to put this on the edges. So just on here, all round. Now don't worry about getting ink on the back. If you was worried, you'd put a piece of paper. So if this was a card and it was an opening card, just have a bit of paper to blot the back bit. Otherwise you'll get all ink on the rest. But actually, because we won't see it, it doesn't really matter about that.
And can I ask what card you're using for this?
I'm using our multi-purpose cardstock,
okay.
or all-purpose cardstock, which is 300 GSM. It's a smooth cardstock, which just works really well.
And that's the best one for using these pigment inks?
Actually, they go on anything. So you could use it on, they even work on black cardstock.
Oh, right.
Because they're natural pigment, so they will actually show on there. Now, I'm just going to put a darker one on the edges, just to add a little bit of contrast. If you wanted to, because this is a wet ink, you could actually heat emboss. Which would be beautiful because it would make it just really nice and shiny, almost like an enamel. And then I want to also go in with a green topaz. Now I want to, first of all though, I'm going to blot it. So let me just grab myself, in fact I'm going to grab a piece of white card so you can see. Sorry, not white card, black card. You wouldn't expect to show up, but look at this.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you wanted to use your inks, I'm only doing this to blot off some of the colour, but I wanted you to see that actually that will blend beautifully onto, I mean, obviously it comes out a darker colour, but it shows you how vibrant those inks are, that it will actually go onto black cardstock. So then I can go into this one, and we'll actually just use some of this around the edges. So you can really add as much or as little colour as you want to.
We've had a message from your Al. Poor man.
You have to be careful. He could be naughty sometimes.
Well, this one's not naughty. I know a guy called Chris who used to worship shrimps at church. He was a prawn-again Christian. Oh, dear me.
So we know that, yeah, Al is he is the king. Him and Ben are king of the dad. Ben loves him. He thinks he's like the best thing since sliced bread because they're literally on the same wavelength.
I love a dad joke. I love a dad joke.
They do make me laugh.
Yeah.
Some are so awful. I just think, no. But on the whole, they are quite funny.
I think so. Stephen says, hello ladies, happy birthday for yesterday, Debbie. Hope you had a great day.
Thank
Laura
you very
said
much.
she worked at paediatrics for many years and saw several times in kids, you know, this thing about going orange because you've eaten too many sort of carrots or anything that's sort of orange. Mary says hello. Rosalind says hello, watching while waiting for my vehicle to be serviced. Lynn says, hi, Debbie, Becky and CTV team, and wonderful social superstar and everyone. Susie said she's messaged Alistair on Facebook and needs to save all those dad jokes. I think he's right. I think between him and Ben, I think there should be a Crafter's Companion dad joke book that comes out at Christmas. I think that would be a great big seller.
I have to say, it really does amaze me how they, both of them, think of them on the spot like that, because I just haven't got that sort of brain.
No.
And also, dare I say it, sounds strange for someone that giggles so much, I'm a little bit serious. When it comes
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
When it comes to jokes, I analyse a joke. Instead of seeing the funny, I'm like, well, that wouldn't happen. Why did they do that? So they are lost on me, unfortunately. But yeah, I do think he has. They both have quite a talent. Right, so let's bring in our back sheet. So this one is. I didn't give you any sizes, so just in case anyone wants to recreate, I will just quickly tell you the sizes. So we've got 8 1/4 by 4 1/2. I've scored it at 1 inch and 2 inches, turned it round and scored at 1 inch and 2 inch. Do that on 2 pieces of your cardstock. One of them will be for your aperture, and then they will stick together at the top here. So the first thing we want to do, this is going to be our backdrop. So I'm going to pop this right at the back, making sure that I can still fold in. So I've created this piece at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and that fits exactly in that middle section. So let's get my tape pen. I know they're staring at me and I can't see them. There they are over there.
It's often the case, isn't it?
Sorry?
Often the case. You can't see for looking.
It's always the case for me at the moment, Becky, honestly. Never find anything and it's right in front of me. So let's pop that right into the centre. Making sure that we can fold that in. Perfect. And try not to touch it too much because it's still a little bit wet with the ink. Just give that a burnish down. Then we don't need to do no more with that because this one's going on top. I want to create some sides. So I've got some nice bright green cardstock. I should have 4 pieces. What have I done with the other piece? Why do I always mislay a piece? Well, it doesn't really matter, so we could just pop them on the sides that's going to show. So
I love all those bright colours.
Yeah, they look lovely, don't they?
We've had quite a lot of sort of very neutral colours on the shows, the demos that you've done today. So it's quite nice to have something really bright.
Absolutely,
summery.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've sort of gone with what the paper pads we've had on the show, and they have, you're right, they have been those more muted colours. Now this one, I don't want to put too far behind, so I am just going to use some foam pads, and all we're going to do is take them, put them on the edges, so it would just give us a little bit of depth. So let's pop those along the top. And then we're going to pop them at
Jamie's saying it's making him want to go on holiday. I think we all feel like that. I think everyone's looking towards, you know, the summer.
I know, Tracy was saying earlier that she's looking forward to her holiday. She's going to Gran Canaria?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, oh, I can't get that one to stick. It's probably because of the ink. Do another one.
it's that time of the year, and when you start seeing people's posts on social media and they're, you know, on a boat or on the beach, and you know, you're at home, it's, you know.
But I can't be jealous because I have already had my holiday.
And we did all feel very jealous when we were looking at your photos, I have to be honest.
Exactly, yes, that's it. So it's just nice to be able to get away now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And life seems to have gone back to some sort of normality, which is quite nice. It's exactly what we all needed, isn't it?
I think so.
The new normal.
Yeah.
So just lightly popping those into place at the back, and see, that gives us our real depth of looking through sort of the jungle there. Then we're going to take our decorations. So we've got our little parrots. And then, yes, I did. So what I am going to do is bring in my red to start with. And because we've got those lines on his body, I'm just going to sort of bring that down. So just around and create his sort of head that comes round.
And those are the alcohol markers, are they?
Yes, so these are just like the alcohol markers, yeah. And then we're going to do his nose, and then I'm just going to bring in the yellow just to tie that in. So that gives us his face. And then we're going to use our green. So I've got the Alpine green. So we're just going to bring that light green into his wings, and then just around his body.
That's a beautiful bright green. That really goes with the green on the card, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing, it's just about tying it all in. And then we're going to do his, let's just bring the red back in. And we're going to just bring his towels. So his towels are sort of come in here.
Talking of holidays, is there anywhere you haven't been that you would like to go?
Oh, so many places.
Where would be your top place to go on holiday?
So Italy, absolutely, is my would be my absolute top preference.
Yeah.
So and I've probably not told anybody, but I'm going soon. Well, going in November. So we're going to Florence. So I feel very lucky. That's what he bought me for my birthday. So a trip to Florence.
That's a fantastic present, isn't it?
Yes,
really good.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And actually, so yeah, they're talking about the food, and so let's bring in my Finnish one, and I've got some other bits here. And Al said to me, what's the first thing that you're going to eat? And I was like, oh, I think pizza. It's got to be pizza, hasn't it? Definitely got to be pizza. So once we've done that, I'm going to stick my parrot just inside so he can actually stick onto here. So I'm going to bring in my little glue bottle. So yeah, Italy, and also I would love to go to Japan. So that is something that's definitely on our bucket list. And also my mum really wanted to go to Japan and she didn't make it. So I'd quite like to go for her and see it for her. So which would be quite nice. So, but actually so many places. I love Europe. So many places I haven't been in Europe that I'd love to go to. What about you, Becky?
I don't know. I'd like to go to Mauritius. I've always wanted to go to Mauritius, and probably the Seychelles, because there's always that rumour, isn't there, that the Seychelles aren't going to be, you know, they're going to have disappeared bit by bit with global warming.
My friend has just come back from the Seychelles not long ago. Yeah, it was amazing. They literally had an island, like in the middle of the, like a house in the middle of the sea.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. And they had buggies that used to come and deliver them breakfast.
That's a real sort of almost like a destination kind of holiday, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's about the people that you're with when you go on holiday. I'd quite like to go on holiday on my own. Isn't that awful? I generally go to China every year.
Of course,
once a year, but obviously I've not been for a few years.
Yes.
But I do like that, but I do find that sort of quite tough on your own. Being in a country where I don't speak very much Chinese at all. I don't know, I can say hello, goodbye, and how much? No, I want the price for one, not 10. And that's pretty much as far as my sort of Chinese goes. But food forms quite a big part of where you want to go on holiday, doesn't it? You want to have lovely food. You want to sort of enjoy your food you're having. So I think that's going to Italy and places like that where you know the food's good. Well, let's be honest, most places the food's going to be glorious, isn't it? But I think that's sort of quite a key thing.
Yeah,
you know, looking
absolutely.
at the kind of food you'll be getting on holiday. I don't think so.
So yeah, no, I think
saying that everywhere's better than
yes,
the UK food. No, I don't think that's
we've just been to Cornwall and it was beautiful, like so beautiful. And we were lucky because of the weather, so it felt like we were on holiday and we were right on the beach, so it was really
lots
lovely.
of fresh fish. Or you don't eat fish, so that
I don't eat fish. No. Al had his mussels.
Nice.
No, not really. But there we go. Our nice little sort of tunnel card, our diorama card, just looking through with our parrots. And I'll just bring in my finished one. And all I've done with that one is just added some little gems at the top and the bottom there.
Oh, that really is.
There we go.
Have a holiday. That's what it should say inside. Not have a happy birthday, have a happy holiday.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So we'll have a look at the boards again so you can see what you're going to be getting in this collection. So you're going to get 59 different dies in here. This is your fairy glade one. Oh, sorry, losing my voice. This is your fairy glade one. And as Debbie was saying, these dies are sort of half a die. So you put them together to create the whole seed, but you could just use one side of those. So they're very, very useful. You can use them in lots of different ways. So that's your fairy glade. The next one is your country cottage, with that lovely cottage with the picket fence and all of those sort of flowers, sort of pretty countryside design that you could create there. The next one is your African savannah with those lovely animals that you'll see on safari and those great trees. Those trees have got a particular name, I've forgotten what they're called, it'll come to me in a minute. And then this is your tropical paradise that you've just seen Debbie using. So it looks, you can see how effective that looks by using those different layers to create that scene. This one is your wonderful Wonderland. So I can really see this one being a great one in blues and silvers for Christmas or sort of winter time. And then finally we've got the fairy tale forest with all of those sort of key fairy tale imagery like the castle and the knight or the prince with his Princess Bride. So platinum price today is £75.99 or $87.96. Great, you're getting a huge amount of dies in there. We were looking at the inks that you were using as well. So we have got an offer on the inks as well. So we've got these are the Heat Embossable pigment dyes, aren't they, that we've got here. So this is seal brown that we've got here in this collection. You've got an orange, you've got pure white, you've got plum jam, you've got midnight, which is a lovely sort of deep inky blue, you've got Bordeaux, so sort of dark wine kind of colour, damson wine with this deep purple, almost our corporate purple actually. It's Crafter's Companion purple. This is grasshopper, and this one I've used a lot actually. This particular green I think is really great. Then you've got lagoon, which is more of a sort of teal colour, and then finally you've got smoked emerald, which is quite a dark green here. So this is £37.59 or $56.79, and that's your platinum price. The next one we're going to have a look at, so just move that to one side, is your floral framed floral cards. So I'm going to show you a couple of samples first of all before I get into the nitty and gritty of exactly what you're going to be getting. But look at these. These are really spectacular. It looks really effective used as a topper or top part of a box with some acetate behind it and just sort of inked up with that white card. But then equally you can have this one using your black card to create that I think this is a peony, this particular flower. Looks really, really lovely. Then we've got some more here. This is a traditional rose one. Again, we've used here at the back, or the front, we've used some acetate, and then at the back, we've used some of the watercolour sheets of paper, watercolour type sheets of paper that we've got in this special offer as well. Then we've got some more here. So they're looking really, really effective. All sorts of different designs you can be doing with these, using your acetates, using using your vellums, using lots of black is quite key on these. They're very sort of simple, clean imagery that you've got here. This one I think is lovely with the poppies on this. Going to be great for sort of Remembrance Sunday and that kind of thing. Then we've got, these are the papers I was talking about. So these are your 5.5 square paper pad. Now these colours are really beautiful. So these are the kind of effects that you would get when you're going to be using your watercolour papers. But these are all going to work really well because you see you've got these sort of darker patches here and there. When you use these with those dyes, they're going to form the centre part of those flowers. But actually these would work really well with some of those dyes that you've just seen. You know, if you're going to be using the African Savannah one and you're going to be using this colour, that would work really, really well, and you could just ink over that as well. So these are what the dyes look like. So first of all, you've got your traditional rose. We can just move that over here. Clear the decks a little bit. So you can see how that dye, so this is a big die, and these are 2 dies, so you can have the frame cut out, or you can just cut it into your card as well. So really, really useful. And I like things that don't just do one thing. I like things that you can manipulate to do lots of different things. You get 2 different types of cards out of all of these. Upside down poppy. You can have it the right way up or upside down, it's entirely up to you. So this is the poppy one, really pretty. And again, as I was saying, if you're going to be using some of the paper pads that come with this, you'll see as you start flicking through them, you've got these darker spots. If you look at this one here, you've got these darker sort of splodges exactly where that you would want those for those poppies anyway. And then finally, you have the dainty dahlia or dahlia, really pretty one, almost like a peony kind of look to it. And again, works really well with these paper pads. So this is £36.44 or $44.68 if you're a platinum price, your platinum club holder. Platinum club holder? Club Inspire member. That's the one I'm looking for. The next thing we're going to have a look at are the shadow boxes. So you would have seen these earlier on today. There's a huge amount of metal that you're getting in here. It looks almost sort of daunting when you look at all these individual pieces. If you saw Debbie doing the demonstration earlier today, you will see how usable all of these different things are. So not only will you be getting that big overall die to make the whole shape, you'll be getting all of these little dies to create all these different sort of borders that you're going to be able to use. The corners, you've got those nesting dies in those different shapes. So this is the 5x7 one here. Then we have the 6x4 here with that beautiful fretwork that you've got in the middle, which I think is just screaming out to be used as a background of a card, perhaps with some sort of oriental type theme to it. And of course, all of those little corners that you've got there are different, so you're going to be able to use them in all sorts of different ways. And then the final one are your slimline ones. Again, you're getting all those nested dies in there, so you're getting a lot of buck for your, is that it, buck for your money? I can't remember this. Metal for your money, something like that. So platinum price is £77.59 or $86.80. So lots on here. So you're going to do another demo for us? You're going to use the shadow box this time?
Yes, absolutely.
Fabulous.
These are gorgeous to use. Now, we know these are a bit of a considered purchase because they are, you know, they're sort of just under £100. But honestly, when you get them home and see how many dies you get in this collection, it is quite incredible. The fact that you've got your main worker die, which is this one I've just placed on the cardstock, having a set of 3 lots of nesting dies in there, having all your borders, your corners in there, all these things are usable throughout all your different crafting, so you can just go for your life with all those different things. Now, the first thing we're going to do is cut it out. Now, you can see I've already took out some of my borders. What I love about it as well is we have put in all 4 borders. You haven't got to do one, die cut it once, take it out, put another one in, die cut it, put another one in. You haven't got to do it 4 times. So one pass putting this through. If you did want to put these through at the same time and tape it all down, you could. But by the time you've taped it all down like that to secure it, to be quite honest, I think you're better off just doing it step by step, because all you need to do is die cut it out first, which is what we're going to do now. It's the same platform for a thin metal die, so your base cutting plate, then your die and your cardstock. cardstock, your magnetic shim, your plastic shim on top, and then your cutting plate on top of that. So nice and easy. They will only fit through your large Gemini or the Gemini Pro. They won't fit through any of the smaller machines, so you do need a larger Gemini. But one cut will create all those elements. Then what you would do is take your excess off. We can get rid of that. You've then got your dies as your guideline. Now, what I would suggest at this point is that you would fold all your creases and work out, so I'm just going to do a little bit, and you'll work out where that die has got to go. And what I mean by that is, let me fold these so you can see this. You would just pull all those in. Now we know, or when you've read your instructions, you will know as well, that when placing this all together, the actual inside of your die is what is the front of your box. So, and then this is going to turn over. So can you see, when we turn that over, we now know that this panel here is the one that your die will go into.
Yep.
So if I open that up, you'll be able to see, we know that that's our middle section of our die, okay? So always just check where you want to place your dies. So we can then grab our tape and we can position all our dies into place. So pop in one on there, right in the center. And then we can do the same on the other side, so I know that that's going to go in that middle section as well. And then it just makes sure you get them in the right place.
Lots of people messaging in to say hello and to say what a beautiful card you just made. Alistair, your owl says China's amazing, and you're right. Mary Kay says, if I would quit buying CC products, I'd be able to afford to go to Europe. But it's nice, isn't it? You know, you've got to craft. We all have to craft.
Absolutely.
Alexia says, oh, I love these papers. Deborah says, anxiously waiting for these dies and paper. Susan said, what a wonderful trip, Debbie. I went to Rome a few years back and I loved it. Gilmore said, I need to get a bucket first to put the list into. And Rosalind said, South Africa is on my bucket list. I would love to go on safari. Well, you could buy the scene dies and make your own safari at home.
Absolutely. I'd love to do a safari as well. And a cruise.
And a cruise.
And I just want to do it all.
Would you contemplate doing the whole going up into space thing as a holiday?
Up to space?
Yeah.
No.
There's not a lot of sun up there.
No, that's not a holiday.
No, it's not, is it?
You're mental if you want to go to space. Who wants to go to space?
No.
I'll let someone else do that. Yeah, no,
I think I'm with you on that.
I don't really understand that, why people would want to do that and be the, you know, the first. Because is that still on the cards? Like, as people paid Virgin to go up?
I think they, you know, they are, aren't they? You know, it seems to be something that people are quite keen on. And do you remember there was a TV program a few years ago where people thought they'd gone into space, they'd gone to the space station, and they hadn't actually. They'd just gone on a really long flight and ended up back in Portsmouth. So it was all a big hoax. It was all a TV, a bit like Big Brother kind of TV show.
Oh wow! I've not heard of that.
There were some actors in there, but lots of the people were just general members of the public that thought they were being trained to go into space.
Oh,
quite disappointed, I imagine.
You would be gutted, yeah. You'd be so. I mean, imagine that. Well, I don't know whether you would be excited or just really scared.
I think I'd be really scared. I think
I'd be really scared. I mean, I don't think I scare easy, but I think I would be really scared.
You'd assume it was a bit like you know, you're watching a film. Really, you wouldn't really think it was real. So I suppose that's why they got away with making it into a, you know, it was all a bit of a hoax, because we don't know really what it's going to be like. No, I think I'm with you. I think I'd look out and see Earth and think, oh my goodness, and I'd just be really, really frightened.
All I think is that sunshine is not going to be on a nice beach.
No. No, I totally agree with you on that.
Right, now the next stage, what you want to do is reinforce all your score lines, just like so. And then you're going to take, now Tracy's managed to find me some, you're going to take your red liner tape. Now the 6mm fits absolutely perfectly along those lines. It's the right fit, exactly the same as what you need to go all the way around those edges, and that will give you a good stick all the way around there. You then want to do all sides, and you want to put it onto this edge piece as well. So just a little piece onto there, okay? So that gets you to all your pieces. Then burnish it down really well, so then you'll be able to get them up. So I'm going to go forward. I've already done one here, exactly the same. I've just folded and burnished all my lines in, put all my pieces down. All I then need to do is to take up, oh, obviously not burnish that one, take up all of the tape, the carrier tape. I'm saying how easy it's coming off. And another little tip, although I can't show you it because we don't have any kitchen towel, but if you've got any kitchen towel, you can lay it on it and it takes all the static off it, so you can get rid of it from your fingers as well. And it really works. Yeah, it's a really good tip, that one.
Yeah, I always find when I'm using red liner tape, my dog's covered in it. Because all those little pieces.
You're just shaking it, aren't you, off of your fingers, and it just won't go away. But kitchen towel, it's like magic. It just takes it from you. Yeah, just sort of destatitize, is that what it's called?
I think that could be a new word, but if it is a word.
Right, so when you fold these all over, I always start with the longer pieces. And all you want to do is to tuck that first piece in, and that's going to tuck right underneath there and just glue into here. So that creates that beautiful sort of triangular corner. So that puts that in the right position of where it needs to go. I've
got a quick question.
Yes.
Alexia says, which size shadow box die are you using?
Oh, so this one is the 5x7.
Right, okay. Thank you.
We're going to use another one. So on the next one, we'll do the smaller one. And then all we're going to do is fold that in, and you will fold that onto the base, so it gives you that straight edge up there, okay? And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So tuck those sides in, and then the other side. And if you wanted to, I mean, I've not done it on here, but you could put strips of card underneath, so it really shows up your die cutting through these little triangular bits. Just fold that in, and then
it does make a very sturdy frame, doesn't it?
It makes a very sturdy frame, yeah, absolutely. So pop in that inside, just give that a little bit of a sort of massage so it warms it up and it makes that stick. And then these pieces will then stick into that side piece, and they'll just roll itself into shape. So they're really simple to do. Pop that one in, oh, just like so. And you'll be able to sort of see, so like on here, one piece has gone in. It's why, so you'll probably notice I use Centura a lot on these boxes. It's because Centura gives you a little bit more room to manoeuvre. If you stick it down, even though it's red liner tape, it's easier to take up on Centura because it's a coated cardstock. Yeah. Once it's rubbed down into place, it will stay stuck, but it does allow you to just move it up a little bit. And then our last one, popping that into place, just like so. But how effective is the die cutting around the edges? It just looks really lovely. Right, next thing I want to do, I actually want to turn it into something useful, so I want to turn it into a card. So I've got my main base, which we're going to stick this to, which is our card. And then what we're going to do is, I'm using all the pieces out of the Knitwits. So we've got the Knitwits on the show, so it's a great little collection. Oh, did want a die cut, one extra one of these as well. I am just going to grab my mini because that will be really quick and easy to pop that through. But yeah, this Knitwits collection, I think it's the Homebody, beautiful little collection, and lots of little elements like the foam flowers and the toppers that you've got in that collection.
It's so easy to have that mini, isn't it? Just on the corner of your craft table.
I know, I love it. Yeah, I absolutely love it. So mine at home sits on top of my Gemini, so it doesn't take up any room whatsoever. So let's grab my pokey tool. So yeah, just for those little corners, you could knock out sort of 4 of those in no problem, no time at all.
So, and you're using the same corner piece for
I'm
all
using
of
the
them.
same corner,
You
yeah,
get 4
absolutely.
different ones in each pack, don't you?
Yes, yes. So what I'm going to do with these is we're going to put them, so I'm not too worried how neat my corners are, because these are going to cover over the top of them. Before I do that though, we're going to put a piece of card on the inside. So not that piece, it's this piece here. So that's going to go inside, and actually it probably would have been better if I'd put that in first, which I think I did on my demo. So what I will have to do, I'm going to just pop it in and just give myself a guideline of where to cut. And let's just trim that with the guillotine.
But at least that's a nice easy fix if you haven't already put that piece of card in there in the first place when you fold it all over.
Absolutely, yes. And it's always good when I forget to do things like this, because it means if anyone does that at home, they'll know what they can do as well. So that should just fit nicely into there, which is great.
Deborah says, great tip about the static and the red liner tape. I was using it last night and it kept sticking to my fingers.
We've
all been there, like this, trying to get rid of the tape.
Absolutely, flicking them off and then having to re-pick them up because they all go all over the floor. It really works. It's, absolutely a great tip. So, there we go. And then we're just going to use our dotty tape pen. So I'm going to use the back of this to stick on so I can put my dotty tape pen onto there. But I only want to do the corner part, because we don't want this part sticking. That's going to just stick onto those corner part. Pop that just like so.
They'd be great for scrapbooking as well, won't those little corners?
Amazing for scrapbooking, And even home decor, like your picture frames at home, you could always make your own little box frames to put on them. They're just, they're very usable. In the next demo, we do have I have got 2 demos lined up with these, and on the next one, I'm actually going to make a little gift drawer out of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is just something a little bit different. Yeah, it's nice to sometimes just come up with some different ideas.
Well, I always struggle, especially now, sort of children in my family, they all want money or they want a gift voucher. And I always find that's quite a boring thing to wrap up. You know, you can't really do anything with it. But you could do something like that and put the gift card inside it, make it into like a whole box frame, couldn't you?
Absolutely,
which would be something a bit different to use.
So different. Yeah, that's a really nice idea. And that, you're right though, Becky, that's all they want these days, isn't it? Because they want to go out and treat themselves and buy their own things. I'm surprised, and I'm sure it's probably coming, that there's not TikTok vouchers. So there'll be things that you can spend like on download on TikTok.
What can you download on TikTok?
Well, they do it on Facebook, don't they? You can actually buy vouchers to use like online to play games and things like that. Yeah. So I think that would probably be the next step. So you can see it really starts to take its shape when you start putting all these different elements onto there. So let's do our card base. I'm going to make an easel card. I thought it would be nice just to have it onto a nice stand. And then I've got my front piece just to, and it's a 5x7-inch card, so it's nice and easy to do. And all I want to do is attach to the lower part of the card. So I'm just going to put my tape pen just across that piece because we don't want it to go anywhere else. And then we would just use that to go straight onto the base. And then this one will stick onto there. But before we do that, let's do the bottom half of our card. So again, I've just done our mats and layers using the cardstock that's in the Knitwits collection. They do beautiful pads in the Knitwits collection.
I really like that kind of duck egg blue that you've got.
Like the cornflower, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said, cornflower?
I said duck egg, yeah. It's more cornflower, you're right.
Yeah, I can't hear so well because all I can hear is the fan over here, funny enough, Becky, so I have to really listen to you over there.
It is quite difficult, and actually I find when I'm over that side of the studio, if I'm using the sewing machine, I cannot hear what the person's saying over here. I've got no idea because it makes so much noise. And sometimes with the Gemini, particularly if I'm cutting felt, and as felt goes through the machine, it makes an awful lot of noise, and you can't hear. Once we've got all the fans and everything going in here, it does become quite tricky.
Yeah, exactly. It is difficult to hear, so I really have to listen when you're talking, because I can't always
I'm generally talking rubbish, so don't worry
that's
too
okay.
much.
I don't have to worry too much. I mean, I should have got away with that earlier, really, where I was just ignoring you.
Yeah, very rude. I'll remember that in the future.
Rude. So this is going to act as my stopper. So it's one of the ribbons that comes out of the pad. So what I do need to have, let me see if we've got any, is some foam on a roll. Foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll. Hey! Becky, do you not join in with the song?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. I don't know the words.
Yeah, they're hard to get your head around, I suppose. Right, so we're popping that into place. You know everyone's singing it at home,
I know.
don't you?
I'm just looking at the messages to see if anyone's messaging. They're not actually. Let's just see. Alessia says, this trim gives a nice custom touch. I think you're absolutely right. And Rosalind says, Debbie, do you think these frames are easier to construct than the original ones launched a few years ago?
Yes. Absolutely. And I was saying that in the earlier show. Yeah, I think they were easy enough to do, but very time consuming.
Right.
Because you would have to do like 4 different cuts and then you have to construct them and put them together. And also you had to hold them into place to glue together. You couldn't just tape them. No. So that made them that little bit more trickier. So yeah, these are absolutely, honestly, the comparison is
yeah, we've just improved on the design and made them more user-friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our little topper here. May your walls know joy, your every room hold laughter, and every window open to great possibility.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's really lovely. So let me just grab the foam pads.
So when I'm looking at these, I'm sort of thinking of these box frames. They are, I would use these, I would get postcards of people's favourite paintings, and then I would do the box die and all in gold using the gilding flakes and make it look like you've actually given them a masterpiece.
Oh, that's
their favourite painting.
Idea.
That'd be a really quick way of doing a card that was really personalised.
Yes, absolutely. That would be beautiful.
It's my mum's birthday coming up. I might have to get one of these, just so I can make her a card like that. If she's watching, Mum, I'm making that up. But if she's not watching, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Does your mum watch it? See, they're all singing, Becky.
They are, yeah, everyone's singing. I didn't sing, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I normally love to sing, but like I said, I don't know the words.
Right, so we've just got our 3, and just because they're in the collection, I'm going to just add them onto the edge here. So I'm just going to make sure my glue
I like
is
that
up.
grey colour. That's really nice.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It is the it's in the
it's in this pad
collection
we've got today. Yeah.
Yeah, which is beautiful. So let's just pop our buttons on the bottom there, and then all we need to now do is I do have a butterfly. There it is. Let's have our butterfly, which is going to fly. Let's just pop that on there. Onto here. Put a little bit more on, I think. There we go. It's nice having collections that you can just put everything into place on. So all I'm going to do is go around the sides here to stick our box into place. So straight onto that middle section. There we go. Oh, showing a little bit there. Not going to worry about that. And then that will act as our easel card frame. And
that's
so
lovely.
almost like just a lovely home decor piece, but really nice for new homes. So if you know anybody that's moving home, or you want to wish someone all the best in their new home, that's definitely a really pretty one to do.
Yeah, that is beautiful. You know, and I like the fact that whilst the frame itself looks quite big and heavy, it is only one piece of card, so it's not going to be overloading the rest of that card.
Not at all.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So here we have the dies for this. So this is the 5x7 one. So this is the one that comes with all those sort of nesting dies in the stars, circles, and also the hearts. But you're going to be getting all of those little shapes to put down the outside, all those little borders. But you'll be able to use them for all sorts of different things. And as you'll see, you've got these 4 different corners in here. So each one of these comes with 4 different shaped corners. And then this one is the 6x4 with that lovely fretwork in the middle there. And then this one is the slimline one as well. So you can see we've got all those sort of corners in there. So that is platinum price £77.59 or $86.80 if you want to go for that. So the Knitwit collection. So we've got 2 pieces from the Knitwit collection for you today. So we've got your cardstock in those beautiful bright pastel colours. So you've got the greens, blues, pinks, and a sort of darker teal colour. And you've got your paper pad here. So this is your 12x12 paper pad. Can't remember which way round I did it. Was it this way? It was this way, this way. So you can see all of those different patterned papers. So these are double-sided papers. So you'll get sort of very intricate florals at the front, and then you'll get a sort of more muted pattern at the back here. We've used this one quite extensively, as you will be able to see here. So really, really lovely. This is £19.99 platinum price or $24.79. We also have the Knitwit's flower forming bundle as well. So you've got these fabulous dies to make these flowers here. If you've watched earlier shows that we've done today, you'll see that Debbie made all sorts of different flowers from just the same dies. So just by changing them up, manipulating that foam in a slightly different way, you'll get a different feel to the flowers. And these, of course, can be used with your cardstock. You don't just have to use them with your foam. But you will get the dies which look like this. So you've got all of your metalwork in there, and then you will get these fabulous foam sheets here in all of those colours that are going to work really, really well with that whole collection. So a lot of muted colours in here, but you can ink these foams up if you want to put a bit sort of more of a depth of colour into that. You can certainly do that with your inks. It's not a problem. We also have our Grande Edge'able dies here, which you would have seen earlier on. So we've got, this is the elegant trellis one that we've got here, very, very pretty. And you can be able to use these for all sorts of different things. I think they look really nice on construction around a box, would look really good as well. This is the gingham lace, the one I said before, which reminds me of Brodie Anglais. It's that kind of patterned cotton that you would see children wearing, or really great for sort of a new baby, that kind of thing. Then we've got the balloon flowers, which really lends itself to some paper piecing. Very, very pretty one there. We've got the rose garden, which we demoed a little bit earlier. Again, great for paper piecing, very much sort of an Art Deco kind of feel to that there. And then we've got the elegant daisy chains here. So this one is really clever because you've got your little flowers down here, which have only been partially cut out, so you can actually make those 3D. And then the last one is a chasing dragonflies. Again, really, really pretty. So these are the best ever price. So £46.76 or $53.82. And you're going to be doing your demo with these next, aren't you?
Yeah, I love these. I think there's something very, very modern about them, which is nice. So I know someone talked about earlier, it encourages you to get your old edgeables out, or your other edgeables, and they all work beautifully together. I love the paneling in these. I think they go on so many different concept cards, and I also love the fact that they're a little bit thicker than a thin metal die, which means they will cut through 2 pieces of card. You might need to use your metal shim, but they will go through both. Now, what I've done is I've took a piece of card which is 11 1/4, which is A4 size, and then I've trimmed it down to 7 1/2. I've then scored at 3 3/4 inch and 7 1/2 inches, and that creates sort of a trifold, design card. Okay. Now the first thing I want to do is to use our edgeable right on the edge, but on each side, and leave this middle panel. So we're going going to use this on the outside. Now, I did say in the earlier show, but just in case anyone's only just tuning in, there isn't a cutting edge on one of the edges. So you can see where all this deckled edging is, all the way down, that's your cutting edge. There is no cutting edge along this part. It's just all of this intricate detail cutting out. So we make sure that your cutting edge goes on the outside of your cardstock. So we're just going to place that right down on the corner there, and I'm just lining it up, and I'm sort of having the same amount on each side. And all we're going to do now is to use our low tack tape, take that into position, and then we can run that through the Gemini, just like so.
So Mary says, very pretty, Debbie. Fred, lovely card. Susan, that card is gorgeous, love it. Beautiful papers. Everyone's liking that, and everyone thinks we should sing Set Foam on the Roll again. They didn't really. They didn't really. But everyone's liking the fact that you sang Foam on the Roll. And I will learn the words, so next time I'm here.
See? I love singing the song. I don't know why people don't like it. I think it's a really cheerful, lovely song.
I'm sure they used to sing a song to that tune on The Big Breakfast, which was a TV show in the UK in the 90s.
Yes.
But I can't remember what it was. It was a game called Morty Vicar, and it used to go in that tune. Yeah, there was all kind of strange, crazy things, which actually I could see Ben working on. That was that kind of show, wasn't it? It was a laugh a minute.
So I got my shows wrong. You saying that? So that was the show. It was The Big Breakfast that I went on. It wasn't. Don't forget your toothbrush. We were talking about.
It was still Chris Evans, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Not Chris Evans, Captain America.
No, not that Chris Evans.
Different Chris Evans.
No. He would have been very young.
Yes.
Probably not even born.
No, probably not even born.
Right, so let's just snip out those end pieces. And look at that. I mean, that is such a beautiful die. So just pop out all your pieces, and then you get that gorgeous edge on that side. So, oh, I've got a different piece of cards or what? And now I'm apologising because, so I'll explain. When I was doing my demo, I was going to do a trifold design, and it didn't come out how I wanted it to do. And what I've done is I've put this in my demo kit, but actually I changed it to this design. So I'm just going to bring this one in, which is totally different. So I'll give you the new measurements for this piece. You could do it for that piece, but I didn't like the idea of it not being like, so it went the other side. So you could do it the other side, but I just felt like it just hid too much of the card. So I switched it out and did a different one. That'll teach me when it rushing all my prep work. So same, 11 1/4 I'd done it at, and I then scored in, but this time at 3 3/4, 7 1/2, and then we scored the rest at the side. So they come in just like this. So it creates a completely sort of different side of card. Then what we're going to do is bring in, I've just got these pretty papers here which come out, I think it was the traditional watercolour prep, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
So we're just using those papers, but obviously you can use anything that you've got in your stash. So let's just take this into that middle section. And what I do love about Edge'ables, Becky, is you can use them on any piece of card, because every piece of card does have an edge. So it doesn't matter where you put it, you just have a play around with how you're doing them. So that's our first piece. Now what I have done is I've cut out some of the cardstock in another one, left that border so we can then add that on to our side edges. So all I've done is created, it doesn't matter what cardstock, so it's just a blue piece of cardstock which went with the card. This one is 7 1/4, and I've done it by 3 3/4. Cut that same border in that's going to go on the edge. Now I've done it so it will slightly, very slightly give us a shadow, so you can sort of see where that white edge comes into it. So all I want to do is I'm going to use my normal tape pen for this middle section, and then we're going to go in with our, let me just grab that black piece of card I used to use our dotty now to go on the other edge. So it's quite nice that we have these to switch out and use how they're needed.
Because some people do put sort of tacky glue on their, or sort of wet, any kind of wet glue onto their mats, don't they, or to their hand, and they sort of effectively sort of flick the intricate cut parts to get the glue on it. But definitely the tape pen is a better way of doing that.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I don't know why people do that. It's horrible on the skin, and you've still got to wipe it off, and you have to sort of rub it, and I don't think that's a very nice way of putting glue on. But yes, you're right, people do. I think do what suits you.
Or if you've run out of your dotty tape pens, that's a good alternative, isn't
absolutely,
it?
yeah, absolutely. You have to do, I think, what's right for you. Yeah, definitely. So pop that into place. I'm just going to turn that over and burnish that down now. So that will make sure that will stick to our die cut. And you can see, and if I bring that in, you'll be able to see, you can see that white through it. So it just creates a completely different look. And then what we're going to do is the same on the other side. So again, I've just created that border piece with those edges. We're going to use our dotty tape pen down the side. And also we do adhesive sheets. So you could put die cut the adhesive sheets, and then you would have a sticker on the back. We also, well, we haven't done them for a long time, is the Xyron. So lots of people still have Xyron machines to do that as well.
See, I bought one of those recently. I thought, yes, I need more things in my craft room, and it's still sitting in the box. I haven't had the chance to use it, but I do like the idea of being able to put things on it and just come out.
Absolutely.
Especially for sentiments, very small sentiments, they're quite useful, aren't they?
I love it. I love the Xyron. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to get them back in stock. We have had some, the mini machines, but it would be such a shame if we didn't. So I have the bigger machines, and it would worry me if I started to run out of them, that's for sure. So let's turn that way. And then all I've done is I've stamped out the sentiment that's in the collection of the Nitwits, and got one of our little flower dies. So I'm keeping it quite simple, and we're just going to pop that into place in the middle, just like so. And then I'm just going to use our little flower. I did have some, I've got some in here, so let me grab those. I did have some little leaves.
I like those sort of peachy colours, and they're sort of almost like a grey blue, isn't it? Yeah,
they're beautiful, aren't they? Really lovely designs. Yeah, there was two. So last year we brought out some pads which were the quintessentially English pad and the watercolour. Traditional watercolours, beautiful pads. So I'm just going to pop that underneath there. I want mine to be able to fold, and then the other one on the other side. So just keeping it nice and simple. And there we go. That's our card, really, which has got those two ends on the side. Oh, the wind's blowing.
It's almost like shutters, isn't it?
Yes,
those,
yeah,
like
absolutely,
like
but just slightly sort of different on the side there, yes.
Lovely. Really nice. Fantastic. So these are the dies again for you to see. So this is your elegant trellis, very pretty here, and you're getting these are sturdy dies. There's a lot of metalwork in these, and that is why you can get these really intricate cuts, working really well for you. Your gingham lace here, then you have your balloon flowers, great one for paper piecing. Then you've got your rose garden here, which is the one we've been using over there. Then we have your chasing dragonflies and your elegant daisy chain with the little flowers that you can poke out, well, not poke out, but lift out so they can become 3D. So platinum price is £46.76. That's $53.82. Well, worth having. And like you say, they're quite modern. They can look quite sort of sophisticated, something a little bit different, whereas you think of these kind of trellis effects look a bit, not dated, but they can look quite traditional, but actually these look super modern. The other thing we were going to look at was the Bell Countryside collection that we've got on the show. I've got a few samples here. We've been showing this today, and it is absolutely beautiful. You've got some really stunning colours in this, and your dyes. So you've got a collection of card, you've got some flower forming foam, you've got your, I never get the right angle, there, that way. You get flower forming foam, you've got dyes, you've got sentiments, you've got stamps, you've got embossing folders as well. So really, really lovely collection. And these are so very, very pretty. You can make some really beautiful cards here. These flowers, I think, are superb with these extra little stamens. You'll be getting the dies in order to make those as well. And then this one, using the dies for cutting out card to make those flowers rather than the flower forming foam. So I'll show you exactly what you're going to be getting in this collection. You'll be getting your embossing folder, which is your floral lace embossing folder here. So earlier on we saw Debbie doing a demonstration using some of the gilding wax on that to make it look really superb. Then we've got the ornate lace, otherwise known as Becky's crown. I didn't get a chance to make the crown in the break because I was doing a bit of sewing instead, but I will have a go on this one later, I think. And then we've got lumières and lanterns. So this is your stamp set with your sentiments in there as well. You've got the equine elegance. This is really the show-stopping piece of this whole collection, I think, with this beautiful horse. You've got the dies, the die, and you've also got the stamps in there as well. Then we have the statement florals. This is a really pretty flower. You can obviously snip parts of that, the sort of foliage out and sort of, actually you could do some really nice decoupage with this, and you'll get your sentiments as well as the die and the stamp. You're going to be getting your grande frame or grand frame, whichever way you like to put it. So this is a really lovely item. This would be great for weddings, I think, or anniversary parties. Then you have your country home, the country cottage that we all want to live in, with that little thatched roof and those lovely sentiments there as well. So, oh, that's got a little bit damaged, that one there, but you can see these are your dies for cutting out of your foam or your card. You can see you're going to be getting these various ones for all the different size flowers. You're getting your leaves, and you're getting these tiny little blossoms, as well as the die for cutting out the stamens, so they can look really, really effective. You'll be getting your paper pad and also your foam, flower forming foam as well. So great price on this, 40% saving on this. That's £43.99 or $57.59. Lovely, very, very pretty, this one. Another demo? We've definitely got another time for another demo. What demo are you going to do now? Are you going to be using the shadow box for this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Right, so I don't have the 4x6 shadow box to hand, but actually it doesn't matter because they work exactly the same way, and I've got all my bits pre-cut out. And it's good because it means we can fit more demos in. So the first thing we want to do is cut it out like we did. So this probably looks very similar to the last one, but this is obviously a smaller one. Now I'm going to create a completely different thing this time. So I've worked out that if you get your cardstock, I have cut this, and I will give you the measurements, to 10 inches, and I believe it's by just under 6 1/4. I've then scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and then I've scored at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4 of an inch. And what that does, and then I've just cut in on the corners here to create myself this little flap, and it means that I can create almost like a slip drawer. Do you see what I mean? So that comes in. It means when we put this together, we can use that to put in and out, so it creates like a little drawer. Okay, now if you want me to, I will recap those measurements at the end once we've put our box together. So once you cut it out, fold and burnish all your score lines like we've done before. You want to then get yourself, now if you have only got the 3mm red liner tape, that's absolutely fine, but if you have got the 6mm, you will find it on our website. It is the perfect size. It fits exactly into the rim of where you need it to go. Now, in the last demo that we did of the shadow boxes, you'll notice that we cut the die into the actual card itself. So I will just so you know what I'm talking about, let me bring this one in. So you'll see that we've cut into it to create those shapes. You also have dies that cut out. So what we've done with that one, I've created some strips here already. I've just cut them out of some mirror cardstock, and then we've cut these ones. These cut completely out, which means we can line them onto our the sides of our box to create a completely new look. So let's pop them to the side.
That's great, you're getting all those different options within this collection.
And that's why it's, you know, like we say, it's a considered purchase, but you do get so much in there. And you can also, like you said earlier, Becky, you can use them on different projects that you've got going on. You could create your own frames within your scrapbooking, within your home decor, within your crafting, onto your, just even if you're making boxes and gift bags and anything like that, it's going to go a long way. And then what we're going to do is just bring this over and pop them onto the tabs. So each one, you don't have to worry about them crossing over as long as you've got them going across both of them. It's just a nice way to be able to pop that onto.
If you didn't have red liner tape and you've only got your tape pens, is that going to be sufficient to hold it, or do you think a little bit of wet glue?
So to be honest, I mean, we always say that red line tape is the strongest thing you can have, but I actually think our tape pens are very good, and I think as long as you massage them well, because
I love the fact that you're saying that about massaging and heating up the glue. I'd never really thought about that before, but of course that makes sense.
And it makes it more sticky, and because this is a tape, so the stickiness on there is sticky. It's not going to get any more sticky. On the tape pens, it's glue. It's not tape. So when it comes off, so when you take that off, you've actually got, can you see, this, that's actual glue. So when you sort of rub it together, it makes it tacky and makes it more pliable. And it also works it into the fibres of the card. So yeah, as long as, I would say, as long as you did that and make sure that you're able to rub it down, yes, normal tape pens would be absolutely fine.
As long as you can massage your project, you'll be all right.
We all love a massage, don't we? I actually like a foot massage.
Me too. But
yeah, some people don't like their feet being touched, but I love it.
I'm actually a qualified masseuse.
Are you? I never knew that. My daughter is too. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's quite handy when I was training because, well, even after I qualified, because you're all giving each other free massages. So we it was all quite good.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that, Becky. My daughter's brilliant. Well, you'd be the same. But so if I get a bit of a stiff neck, I say, oh, Poppy, give me a massage. She says, where is it? And she'll find that knot and she'll click it out. It's like, you can hear it and it pops. But she's like amazing. She has the most amazing massage hands. So every so often we will go to a spa and I'll treat her and we'll have a massage so she can have a massage.
But does she enjoy it, or is she thinking about it all the time? So she says it's very hard to enjoy because as much as she wants to enjoy it, she's actually thinking of her next move, what she's doing. You would know that, and whether she's good. Yeah.
And so most of the time she'll come out and say, actually, she was a very good masseuse, but she said, I don't relax because I think, what is she going to do next? And then she'll think, oh, well, actually, I would have done this move next.
And sometimes you can tell where people have trained because they'll follow a particular procedure if they've done one qualification versus another. I remember going for, I love a massage. I remember going for a massage with a couple of friends for a day, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep, while she was massaging my back, and I woke up and I said, oh, thank you so much. I said, I was super relaxed. I said, I fell asleep. And she said, yes, I know you did. And I said, did I snore? And she said, no, but you dribbled on my feet. So I've always been a little bit worried about falling asleep when I'm having a massage.
But see, so my Poppy tells me, so I went and had a massage through someone else. Someone had bought me a voucher, which is why I went somewhere else. And I fell asleep and missed the whole massage. And Poppy said to me, that's not a sign of a good masseuse because you should enjoy it. The whole point is not to fall asleep.
No.
Is to enjoy what's happening. So she said that they would know gently how to just do something that would make you come to, so you're aware you're being massaged again. Yes, probably something like that. Yeah. So and I was gutted because I thought I didn't notice the massage at all because I literally fell asleep.
She may not have done it. May have seen you fall asleep.
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. So who knows? Who knows? Right. So I've remembered to put my card in first this time. So popping that inside. And then all we're doing is then adding those little glue, what we've put those glue on those ends, bending them forwards and inwards, and then we can stick that together as well. And then we're just going forward. It's like rolling it forward until you get that sort of natural box. And
as long as you've burnished your folds correctly, that will automatically happen.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then we'll do the same with this one. So these ones will naturally find their place, and you can sort of see exactly where they are falling. So into that piece, and just on those side bits. So on that edge, just rub those ones down. And then the same on this side. So rolling forward, finding that natural box edge there and rubbing that down. And then we've got our extra pieces to put onto the front. And I've also got, just so I don't lose it, I've just done myself a little bit of ribbon here, which I'm going to tie to put onto the bottom. So I'm putting a little bit on the side here, pop that into place, just rub that down so there's no excess. And then we're going to loop that over. So I just want to create that little pull tab. So putting that one onto there. Yeah, my Poppy didn't want to do massage because she found it quite hard work because it's not an easy job to do. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't realise how exhausting it is. And I did my qualification a few years ago, and lots of people I know or lots of people on my course had sort of left their jobs to do massage, and then COVID happened. And obviously that was one thing that you couldn't do. And in fact, one of my friends is an actor and decided he was going to, or like a theatre actor, he was going to do massage as a way of sort of getting an income when he wasn't working as an actor. But obviously both his businesses, both things he was working for sort of stopped.
No.
But I know a lot of people say actually, it's quite key. If you do it slightly wrong, you're not concentrating, you're getting your angles not quite right. It's absolutely exhausting to do because it's hard work, and we don't realise. We sort of think, oh yes, it's nice and easy, but actually it was a tough job to do. Yeah,
absolutely. And also they used to always put men with her because she's got big hands, so they said that because she's firmer for a man's massage. But that's even harder because you have to be quite powerful, don't you, on their muscles. So so now she's opened up her own little salon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so which is nice. So she does that, but it's good income being a masseuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and she enjoys it, but she's very, very good at it.
Well, I think all those people that are really good at it are the ones that are always super busy, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. She's got her regular customers that come back time and time again. Yeah, absolutely. So we're just popping our next ones in. You can see they all join up perfectly on those sides. And then our last one at the top there.
Alison says, I love these shadow boxes. A set I've still got to use, so later this evening I'm going to have a go. I think this is sometimes, we all have bits and pieces in craft things that we might watch a show and you think, oh, I'm going to have that, and then time runs away with you, and sometimes you need that sort of push to think, oh, actually, I think I've got something very similar, or I've actually got that. That's why I really like these shows when you've got things that perhaps they're not brand new, but they're things that you've bought. And we're able to show you different things to put together with them, which is a great opportunity to work out what you're going to be doing. I remember watching a show with, I think it was Leanne, it was the Winter White collection. And
that was amazing.
Really, really beautiful, and I loved it. And I did exactly what you said about making the flowers. I spent days making flowers. That was all I did, made flowers. And I was like, well, I'm going to make all these cards for Christmas, and time ran away with me, and I ended up only making a handful. But then, I went to someone's house, and I'm not going to say who it is, just in case they're watching, and the card was in the bin at the end of Christmas, and I think I spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah, it's quite sad, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think people really realise the amount of time and effort that you put into it. So I have all my handmade cards. I don't throw any away.
Well, you can't. When someone's put so much love and attention into something, you need to sort of keep hold of it. And obviously, you know, people viewing today, you know what it's like and how much time and effort you put into your cards that you're making. You want people to feel, you know, they're not just something that you've just gone out and bought from a shop. They're something you've, you know, cried over.
Actually, that's a good idea, yeah.
So Jamie was saying we have to get people to send them back. Yeah, so when you finish with that card, I'd like to have it back. Thanks very much.
Yeah, if you're going to bin it, don't bin it, give it back. So what I'm doing here, I've got those, these are one of the topper pads from the Positive Thoughts. So I've used Positive Thoughts papers, and then they have a topper pad that you can use these out of. So I thought this was quite nice. It says, "You're amazing," and then "I'm here for you." So a nice little inspirational project here. So bringing this back in, so this is our 4x6 frame. So if you're going for this or going for all of them, but this is the 4x6 frame that we've created our little box. Create that little tab on there. So we want a little wraparound that's going to go around it. I did tell you the measurements, but I will just recap them as well. So I did it this way, didn't I, when I told you? I don't want to tell you different measurements. So it's 10 inches by 6 and just under 6 1/4. And it's, I've scored it at 1 1/4, 5 1/4 and 5, and actually, no, let me get this right. So it's just over, it's 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 5 1/2 and 5 3/4 of an inch, okay? Right. And that's going to create that rack. So what I want to do is just pop that side piece down. This piece is going to act as your little tab. So just popping that on the side. I'm going to fold that onto there. And onto there. Once I know I've got that straight, then I can place that down, burnish that down, and then we're going to use it. It doesn't matter which way round you use it, but choose one side that you want as your top. So we're just going to pop that onto the top. And it's just a nice little project, and for this one, I mean, it's just a nice way to send a gift to somebody. You could even put some little chocolates in there if you wanted to.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes.
I'd like that filled with chocolate.
I know,
I'd say that about most things.
Very nice. And then all we're going to do, that will go into there. It's, just to make sure they're put down. So our little tray, so you can see, if I turn that round, you've got your little box of gifts, and then it's just got your little inspirational saying in there.
Really lovely.
Yeah, so just another different little project
different.
there.
I love that, really nice. So we're going to, I'll show you those boards again so you can see what they look like. So these are your shadow boxes. So the first one is your 5x7 box. So you've got all of those, at the outside of the box, you've got all of those different edges, those different borders, and you've got those nesting dies in there as well. Then we have this one, which has got this beautiful lattice in the middle. This is your 6x4 one. Again, you've got all those little corner pieces that you can use in other things as well, and all of those sort of borders, as well as that outer box as well. And then you've got your slimline one. Again, you've got loads of nesting dies in there too. So really, really good deal. £77.59 or $86.80 if you're in the Club Inspire. Now, we do have the Knitwit collection that we've got on the show today. So we've got these beautiful pinks and greens, so these very brightly coloured, kind of springtime, summertime kind of colours. You've got your 24 sheets of card in here in the greens, blues, the teal colour and the pink. And then you also get your paper pad. So this is your 12x12 paper pad. It's £19.99 or $24.79. If I just flick through this way, you'll be able to see all of those different colours and patterns in here. Really, oh, not that one, because that's one we've used. But you can see, obviously, if it's being used by everybody, we all like it. That's the way you have to look at it. The next one we have is the Knitwit's flower forming bundle, which we've got, which includes the dies for making the flowers, as well as the flower forming foam in all of those colours. So in those sort of pinks and greens and sort of almost like a sandy colour here as well. you'll be able to make flowers like this here. So those are all the dies that you'll get. Now, you don't have to use the dies for your flower forming foam. If you've run out of the flower forming foam and you want to use them for ordinary cards, you absolutely can do. And if the flower forming foam, said that so many times in the last 20 seconds, isn't quite the colour that you want, you can, of course, ink that on there. So this is £15.19 or $18.39. I'm just going to dip under here to grab the next set of boards. So these are our interchangeable scene dies that we've got on the show as well, which I absolutely love. So this one is your fairy glade, and you've got all those different shapes and dies to make all those different sort of just different scenes. Now, each one of these large dies up here actually splits into two, so you don't have to use the whole thing. You can do and create this whole design down here, but you can just use one side of that. So that gives you a lot of versatility in your paper crafting. And of course, you're going to be getting all of those little dies over here with the flowers and the fairy and also the little toadstool. So that is your fairy glade. The next one is your country cottage. So beautiful little thatched cottage here with all of those almost sort of like walking through an orchard kind of feel to them. And again, you don't have to use all of these together. You can mix and match. They're going to be really, really versatile. And I can certainly see using different aspects of these in different parts of your cards. You don't have to use everything together. The next one is your African Savannah. So absolutely beautiful. I think this is like a key one. We were saying I've seen lots of these in the past. People really, really love this. So you've got that beautiful kind of those trees that grow in the savannah, and you've got all of those kind of safari animals in there as well. The next one we have is the Tropical Paradise, which we used on an earlier demo. Fantastic for, you know, summer holidays. It's got a real kind of tropical theme with all of those lovely little dies. And those dies you can be using in so many different ways. All of those little, the small ones at the edge with all those leaves, those foliage, the flamingo, lots and lots of opportunities to use those in all your paper crafting. Then we've got your Wonderful Wonderland. This is going to be a key one for the winter. Really beautiful. You can see that almost sort of like a Game of Thrones kind of feel to it, looking through the forest with those stags and all the trees. They're really lovely ones as well. And then the final one here is a fairy tale forest with those key fairy tale images. So you've got that beautiful die with that sort of fairy tale castle and obviously, you know, a fairy tale ending. So a great price again, £75.99 or $86.96, and that's your platinum price. And you're going to be using one of these for your next demo, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I've got the country cottage, so I think this can be used for so many different things. You know, not just your regular moving house and that, but it's just a really nice design to use. It'll be great for Christmas because I can imagine the little cottage that you're getting on here being turned into a little Christmas cottage. You've got your traditional pillar box as well here, which reminds me of Christmas. Yeah. So I think these sort of things would be lovely. The detail in these are unbelievable. You've got your little birds in the bird bath. You've got butterfly dies. You've got your fence die here as well, which is absolutely incredible. So if you, now this die is a great one because it actually cuts out the whole of your fence, so you can put this onto anything. This is a great little die to use for so many of your different sets that you've got in your stash. So first of all, let's just do one and concentrate on one scene. I've got some others that are already pre-done. I'm going to use the low-tack tape, just to tape that down. Let's pop that right in the centre.
Gail says, to avoid my cards being put into the trash, sometimes I make a removable inside sentiment and tell the person to re-gift the card to someone else. Now that is a really good idea.
That's a brilliant idea. Wow.
So, my husband's been doing that for years because he buys me the same card for our anniversary for the last 10 years, and he just takes it off the mantelpiece and puts it away.
See, I just think that's being a bit of a cheapskate, to be honest, Becky.
Yeah, it is.
I was listening to that thinking, please, no.
Do you know what?
I understand gifting it to a different person.
Yeah, same person. And do you know what? It's a card I really don't like. And I've said loads of times, I don't like that type of card. I really don't like it. And that was a fatal mistake because now that's the only kind of card I get. Alison says, I have friends who've kept all my handmade cards and put them up on a door in their hall, so I always remember what cards I've given them. That's a really nice idea. I think, you know, you want someone to keep hold of a card that you spent some time working on.
Absolutely.
You don't want to give them the same card like my husband does.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't give them to the same ones. Yeah, I think you need to tell your hubby that he needs to start getting you a new card.
Did I get a new? I think I did get a new card this year, but I suspect I'll probably find it again next year. When I get home, it's probably already been repurposed and ready for next year. But I do like that idea of being, you know, putting a
That's very clever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really nice idea. So I'm being really gentle. We're lifting this one out. And then the next one, and you're probably thinking, why is this one stuck in more? I'm actually using watercoloured cardstock.
Okay.
Because we're going to do a little bit of watercolouring, and that's what I love about these dies, is it doesn't matter what type of crafter you are, you're going to be able to get use out of all these dies and all the different mediums.
Sorry? That really is so intricate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? In fact, let me just pop it onto a piece of card so you can really see all that intricate detail in there. I mean, just having that in black and white would look beautiful, wouldn't it? So it is a gorgeous design. We're going to use some really fun, lively colours here. So I've got my aqua pens using that hot pink. I'm just going to put a bit of pink onto there. You could colour directly if you want, but you get so much more out of your pens. Let's use our green there, so our bud green. Might need a bit more green, and then we will have, let's have a darker green, so pop that, oh, it's a lighter green actually, and then we've got a darker green, and then we've got our, what else, let's do a yellow. I love this, being able to just paint on the mat and then use your brush just to paint those colours onto. So I'm just going to take off, I haven't got a piece of kitchen towel today. We seem to have run out of kitchen towel, but let's just go straight in and colour directly onto those. I mean, watercolouring goes such a long way. It's very forgiving. It doesn't have to be perfect, which I love. And you can really just create some beautiful images with this.
And by just using this die but colouring it in different ways, using different cards, you can really get a different look, couldn't you? I mean, I think this would look really nice in kind of a glitter card. I mean, you always sort of like frosty whites and greys, almost looking like the frost on all the plants, at winter time, making like a Christmassy kind of card.
Yeah, absolutely. But look how quick you can colour in just by adding that, and then we could switch the colour out. Just put an extra sort of lighter green in there. Yeah, it's just so easy to do and really lovely. It's so nice to be able to feel like you can paint. They're just beautiful designs. I mean, I'm doing this really quickly because I do have some already done. Let's just do that bottom part. So you just build up your colours like so. Let me just grab myself a white. And just wipe that excess.
And you're right, it's very quick to start making that sort of effect, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really quick. You can create some just amazing images. So build up your colour and then use your other dies. So that was one side of the die. If you turn it over, you get another one like we were saying before. You get your house, your butterflies. So I'm going to bring it all in because I know that we're fast running out. I don't know where these last hour and a half has gone. But if I bring all these in, you'll be able to see. So I've done another one with the trees in the background, so
lovely.
Really beautiful.
And you've coloured it in the same way?
Exactly the same way, all done with watercolour cardstock. I've done the little cottage. Now the cottage is brilliant because it doesn't have a cutting edge along the bottom, so you can put it on whatever you want it to go onto. So we can have that sort of in the background there, so we can start really layering these up, and then this one will be on the front. And I've just cut out, you can see I've cut out the entire fence and just pop that on the front. So we're creating that real 3D effect with all our images. So what we are going to do is I'm going to use across the bottom some foam pads, and that's just going to elevate the front of our design.
And could you lose these elements? You could use these elements and make a kind of shaker card in different sections.
Oh,
Would that
absolutely.
work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, which would be beautiful. Yeah, that would be amazing. So I'm just going to pop that onto the front so you can see we've then got our house in the background. I've done a bit of a wonky house there. I should have done it so you could see where we were going with it, but oh, now I've done it wonky. Completely wonky. Hang on, hang on. Can't have a wonky cottage, can we? That will do, don't look at it, Debbie. And then we've got our next one, and I want to put that as well, elevated. So what I am going to do is just cut these strips in half. That will give me more for my money, but it'll also give me that depth that we need. So popping them all along the base.
That's a lovely looking cottage, isn't it?
It's
kind
so
of cottage you're going
pretty.
to spend a little holiday in.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes, very nice. Let's pop that one on, and then we can pop that over the top.
Oh, look at that.
So it's just creating all that dimension, so looking through, and you can put different dimensions. So if you wanted, so if I sort of show you the top bit there, you'll be able to see. If you wanted to create bigger dimension, you could hire your foam pads and make that even more. But look how pretty that is.
That's
absolutely
stunning.
Gorgeous. So, and all we're going to do is I've got all my extra pieces here. What I thought this would be nice to have, it's like a little photo book. So I've put it with a blue piece of card. So this is just our textured cardstock, which we're going to attach this on the back. If I can find my tape pen right in front of me, and we're just going to pop that into place here. And also what I do want to do is just put a couple of foam pads just that little bit higher up there to hire to our cottage, and then we can also stick the back of our cottage onto there as well, and that's just going to give us all that dimension. Just like so. So that really looks like that cottage now is in that background. And that will go onto the front. And I've just created, all I've done is put 2 punch holes in the side. I thought we could create like a little mini album, which would be, yeah, really cute. And then I've just got some ribbon that we're going to pop through to hold it into place. So let's just bring that one in and then go on to the other side. So
Do you know, it looks like that cottage from The Holiday.
I love The Holiday.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite films.
I've only seen it recently, just this year, yes. And I think,
What,
oh my goodness, how
time?
about, yeah, for the first time.
No.
I don't know why, but yeah, it's such a lovely film.
My mum worked on that film, actually. She was making, so the decorations in Cameron Diaz's house, you know, the actual house. And I don't know why, given that that was filmed in LA, they were making the decorations for it in the UK. I don't quite know how that works, but yeah, we were doing a lot of Christmas decorations.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
a lovely
incredible.
film. It's a real feel-good film, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But that cottage is definitely like I think it's called Rose Cottage, isn't it, that she lives in? That character, yeah, Kate Winslet's character. That's definitely the kind of little cottage I can see her living in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, beautiful little cottage, wasn't it? Yeah, such a lovely film. So
that's a film I watch while I'm wrapping presents at Christmas time.
Oh, see, mine's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase.
National Lampoons?
Yeah. I love it. It just makes me laugh every single time. Like, you just get so stressed about Christmas. I do love Chevy Chase. I don't know what's happened to Chevy Chase. I don't think he does films anymore. I haven't seen him in anything.
He must be a fair age now.
Well, he must be quite old, yeah.
Are you watching Chevy Chase? Are you normally a crafter? Maybe he is. Maybe he's watching today.
You never know.
If he is, please message in.
Hey, Chevy.
Yeah.
And then we've just got some added little extras that I've done, which is our butterfly. Have a beautiful day. So we're just going to pop that on the top there. I don't want to cover too much of the design. There you go.
Chevy Chase is 78 years old. Now that makes me feel old.
Can I ask your age, Becky? You don't have to say it on air. You can tell me later if you don't want to say it.
I was a different age on Monday, and I can't quite remember how old I am. Am I 47? I think I'm 47.
Oh,
or am I
okay.
46?
So I was putting you in mid-40s.
I can't.
So a little bit older than I thought.
I can't quite remember what age I am. I think I'm 47. Because for over a year I thought I was 45, and I was really disappointed when I found out I was actually 40. Yeah, so I must be 47. Yeah, 47-ish. Old. That's how I feel. Old.
Oh, you got a lot of catching up to do with me. Right, and there we go. So our little mini photo album, just adding that ribbon in the side and creating that beautiful effect on the front. How lovely is that?
Lovely, really like that. That's brilliant. So we've got the, in this collection, we've got the Fairy Glade set of dies. So again, remember these large sort of square dies that are creating that whole scene do go into two. So you can just do half of that. That's the same with all of those in this collection. Then we've got this one, which is a country cottage, which Debbie just used. Really, really pretty. And with those different colours, I mean, you could make it look so different. It almost looks like that is a cottage in the height of summer with all those different colours in there. This is the African Savannah, again, where you've got your beautiful dies in here, so you've got all your animals that you can use on lots of other things as well. Great for scrapbooking. Perhaps you've been on a safari and you want to sort of put your photos in a scrapbook. You could be using some of those images on there as well. Then we've got Tropical Paradise with all those beautiful leaves, your parrots and your flamingos in there as well. Then you've got your wonderful Wonderland. Wonderful Wonderland, that's right. The sort of scene with the stags and the deer looking through the forest. And then we've got a fairy tale forest here with that iconic fairy tale castle. So platinum price is £75.99 or $87.96. What we also want to show you is the fabulous floral dies that we've got here as well. So these are your framed floral dies. They actually come with a pack of paper. So these are 40 sheets of 5.5 square inch paper. Now these are almost sort of like a watercolour kind of hue to them, and they work brilliantly with these designs. And these are going to work also very, very well with those shadow boxes that you've just seen. So you could be using some of these designs here as your backgrounds. Perhaps this one for your African Savannah would work really, really well. You'll see the dies look like this. So you've got this one, which is your traditional rose, and you'll see here when we're using the paper behind, because of the way we've created this paper, it works with these little dies, but you can use them with other things as well. And each of these dies you can cut into your card, or you can cut out and use with a frame. So we've given you that versatility. So this is your blushing poppy, and then this one is your dainty dahlia or dahlia, depending on which way you want to use it. So you can see here on this one where we've got this watercolour kind of feel to this paper. That's going to work really well if you use that one with that Savannah card there. I'll just show you a couple of little finished samples so you can see what they look like. This one is actually my favourite, this one with a poppy. It looks really, really effective there. Then you've got this one here with those poppies again, looking totally different by using those different colours there. We've got a couple of others. I'll show you this one because I do love a box. I do love a box, and this is like a shaker box. So looking really, really effective with all that glitter in there. So this is £36.44 or $44.62. The next thing we want to show you are the paper pads. Now, the paper pads have been super popular, really, really popular. So we've got 3 here for you. The first one is the Country Lane. So these are all our 12 by 12 paper pads, and they are double-sided, so you get 36 sheets in all of these. Let me get this right round the right way so I can flick through. Not like that. That's not the way to do it. So you'll see that you've got sort of very sort of big florals on here, lots of sort of gold speckles on here as well. And then the back of them tends to be sort of more muted patterns in there, sort of plain kind of colours. But in these beautiful colours here, you've got some lovely sort of whites and greys, and you've got some beautiful paper here with that sort of wood panelling as well. So that's £14.44 or $16.95. That's your platinum price. The next one is Vintage Butterflies. So again, same sort of format in that you're getting your 12 by 12 paper pad, 36 double-sided sheets. You can fussy cut a lot of these. These butterflies, you always want a butterfly for something, so you've got lots of options with those in here. Different colours, different different hues that are going to work really well with all of the cards that you already have, the paper stock that you already have. But if you're going to be buying that Belle Countryside, that's going to work really well with that as well. So that's £10.19 or $13.56. The next one is the Secret Garden. This has been the most popular one. So if I show you here on the front, you will see you've got lots of kind of vintagey type colours in here, and there's lots of sort of sepia tones in there, and also sort of manuscript paper as well. So if I flick through this one, you will see you've got the same kind of format, and you've got the larger florals on one side, and then you've got sort of more muted patterns at the top. But again, beautiful colours. I think one of my favourite ones is that one here with the irises in there, and that sort of purple tone in there as well. So that one is £10.19 or $13.56. We need to do a vote, don't we?
Time is ticking
on. I know, time's running away with us. So again, I mean, I'm in awe with your speedy crafting, because you have done a huge amount of cards today. It's been amazing how much you managed to put in these shows.
I know, it is incredible. And do you know what? I'm just lucky, and you will be the same, is that your inspiration will come from what you're using. So everything that we've made throughout today, it's just because we have the right tools, we have the right products, we have amazing things that really inspire us. So number one is our diorama card with our little parrot. Number two was our easel card shadow box. Number three was our sort of panel, almost looks like a sort of panelled card with our Grande Edge'ables. Then we've got our little gift box, so which pulls out from that shadow box. So that was number four. Number 1, 2, 3. That was number 4, and then number 5 was our beautiful coloured sort of photo album. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Isn't it? Very much so. Debbie's going to do a quick demo using the Grande Edge'ables, but I'll just show you those before we go to the demo. This is the elegant trellis one here. Very usable. You can use that for all sorts of different things. And they're almost like a fretwork, kind of screens that you would have, sort of oriental screens. This one is the one which is the gingham lace, which I think looks like broderie anglais, and actually it would lend itself to doing a little bit of ribbon weaving throughout that to make a really nice sort of finish on your card. The next one here is balloon flowers, which is again is very, very pretty, and you could put that with some acetate behind, and then maybe sort of ink through with your alcohol markers, which would look very, very effective. This one is your rose garden, again very pretty, wonderful for paper piecing. This is a very sort of Art Deco kind of feel to it, and you could be able to use these in all sorts of different things, so not just in your card making, but in your home decor and also in your scrapbooking as well. This one is your chasing dragonflies, and it's really, really pretty. You've got this lovely edge to it, and lots and lots of things that you could cut out if you wanted to use this and then snip into those little pieces and use them for other things and embellishing your cards. And then the final one is the elegant daisy chains, which has these little flowers that you can sort of pull out, so you can make it 3D. So this is platinum price £46.76 or $53.82, and you're going to do your final little demo on that, whilst we'd like you to put in your votes for the demo of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do it really quick and not demo fully, because obviously we're really short on time, but it's always nice to get one really squeezed in last. I've got myself an 8x8 card blank. I'm going to use the die to go on the edge, which is beautiful. Now what I've used is the Chasing Dragonflies, really lovely one, but it's quite viney, this one, and I like it. So cut that into the front of your cardstock, which will give you this effect. So it's just over the top, and you get that beautiful, you can see the dragonflies in this one. Now you can paint them, colour them in. I'm keeping it really simple by literally using another die cut in black, and I'm going to lay that underneath. So all we're going to do is, let me bring in my dotty tape pen. We're just going to go down here just to create all those adhesive dots over there, and then that way we can use this one, and all I'm going to do, in fact, I'll bring it forward and then we can see what we're doing, just over the top, so slightly shadowing that die. just to give that a really beautiful pop. And I'm keeping this all quite muted, so I've just got myself some black cardstock, which I've put some white cardstock on the top. This just gives a nice border inside your card and creates, well, creates the inside for you to put your sentiment that you want in there. So we're just going to place that on the inside of our card there. And then all we're going to do to finish that off, I've just got some pieces out of one of Sarah's collections. We're going to place that onto the front. I think this is probably the quickest demo in history. Place that onto the top. And then I've just got one of our sentiments there, which I've created using our nesting dies, which we will place just onto the side. And then all we're going to do is add a little bow. Always like to add a bow down there. And then we've just got our dragonfly.
Very elegant, that, isn't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it? And as much as it's got lovely papers and it's, you know, got beautiful sentiment, it's so nice to think we've got that side edge. If I turn that round, we've then got our beautiful card.
Wow, Sabidi, we should have timed you on that, because that was really amazing.
It probably was the quickest one in history, but you get the idea of how it is.
So, the demo of the show is number 2.
Oh, that was the easel one.
Yeah, if I come and grab that, then we need to do a quick demo of the day.
I'll run it
so
over.
if you're going to have to be really, really quick, because we've almost finished. So we've got number 1 here, number 2 and number 3. Tough decisions. So please get your votes in for demo of the day, and we'll be letting you know what that is in a few moments. Lots of people saying what lovely cards you've been making really beautiful things.
Oh,
so
thank you
lots of
very
love
much.
for you today. Although somebody did say that they've got shoes older than me. I don't know if you still wear them. They must be quite cool shoes from the 1970s. We've got you've seen loads of bits and pieces today. That Bell Countryside collection is really well worth popping into your basket, because you're going to get 40% off on all of that, and you're going to get so many different things in there. You've got lots of cards, you've got some foam, you've got your stamps, you've got your dies. It's a really, really lovely collection, and as you've seen, some of those paper pads are going to work incredibly well with that. So really well worth you doing. Haven't quite got the information for demo of the day yet, but I'm sure it's coming through. We've got tomorrow, we've got launch day at 11, and we've got Sarah in the building tomorrow for Cartload. Oh, very exciting. And are you in tomorrow?
I am in tomorrow,
fabulous.
yes. So I've got the launch, which is amazing. Can I tell you what it is?
Go on then.
So we know how much we all love our nesting dies. These are nesting dies with a little bit of a difference. They're nesting die frames.
Ooh.
Do you know how normally we have a nesting die and then we use another nesting die to cut the frame? These now cut the frames. They're amazing.
Wow.
I've got some really good demos lined up, so yeah, it's going to be amazing.
That sounds really exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
I haven't quite got...
Oh,
hopefully, no, I still don't know. Which one would you go for? Which one would you say was going to be your
I like the middle one.
The middle one. You see, that one is my favourite. Demo of the day. Is this one?
There we go.
Congratulations. Just what we all
so
thought.
much.
But they've been wonderful working with you today.
Oh, Becky,
I've really
honestly,
enjoyed being here. It's been great.
It's been my pleasure. It's
I
been
enjoyed
lovely.
our ice cream and Love Island last night. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Check out your baskets, and hopefully I'll see you all very, very soon. Remember, we've got the launch day tomorrow, and we're going to be seeing Sarah for Cartload. See you all soon. Bye-bye.